Our science session. So let us continue with our second chapter, Is Matter Around Us Pure? So dear students, in the last session we have studied about solution and suspension. So there we have understood that solution contains a homogeneous mixture where a solute particles are completely dissolved in the solvent. And in case of suspension, we studied that suspension is a heterogeneous mixture. So there we find some of the suspended particles present in the solution. So there we have studied both the properties of the solution as well as the suspension. So in this session, we will study about the colloidal solution.
Now, you must be definitely curious to know about colloidal solution. So let us learn what exactly the colloidal solution is. In colloidal solution, the particles of the colloid are distributed evenly in the solution. These particles have smaller size as compared to the particles of suspension. Since particle size is small, it appears homogeneous, but in reality, the solution is heterogeneous. That is, when beam of light is passed through the solution, scattering of light is visible. That is, Tyndall effect is observed. It is observed in dark room where beam of light enters from small hole and in dense forest where particles of dust and smoke, tiny water droplets in air act as colloidal particles which allow scattering of the light. So let us know some of the properties of the colloidal solution. A colloid is a heterogeneous mixture. The size of the particles of colloid is too small to be individually seen by naked eyes. Colloids are big enough to scatter a beam of light passing through it and make its path visible. They do not settle down when left undisturbed. That is, a colloid is quite stable. They cannot be separated from the mixture by the process of filtration, but a special technique of separation known as centrifugation can be used to separate the colloidal particles. After learning the properties of colloids, we get confused to decide whether colloid is a solution or a suspension. Well, dear students, the properties of colloid lies between the solution and the suspension. Here is a short comparison between solution, colloid and suspension. So now let us study about the components of colloidal solution. The colloidal solution has a components called the dispersed phase and the dispersion medium. The solute-like component or the dispersed particles in a colloid form the dispersed phase, and the components in which the dispersed phase is suspended is known as the dispersing medium. Two common examples are given in the following table.
Children, you understood about the colloidal solution. But the colloidal solution properties lies between the solution and the suspension. So for example, if you take the milk, so milk is a colloidal solution. So by seeing this, you will tell that it is a homogeneous mixture because there is no separate components and there are no suspended particles in this case. So we will say that milk is a homogeneous mixture. So in the colloidal solution, it acts as a homogeneous mixture, but it is a heterogeneous mixture. And here we have two medium, that is dispersed phase and dispersion medium. So the components of colloidal solution is dispersed phase and dispersion medium. And here these particles cannot be seen through the naked eyes. So can you see the particles here? We cannot see the particles in the with the naked eyes, but these particles are bigger than the solution particles which they can scatter the beam of light. In case of solution, we have learned that the particles cannot scatter the beam of light because the particle size is very small. But in case of suspension, since the suspended particles are very large, they can scatter the beam of light. But in case of colloidal solution, though these particles are not so larger than the suspension, but they can scatter the beam of light by the effect called as Tyndall effect. So this Tyndall effect you might have been observed in case of the village house. So there they are made up of different roofs. So while some beam of light, when it passes through the dark room, that light scatters in that room by the dust and other particles. So this scattering of the light by these particles, we call it as a Tyndall effect. Even you can observe this Tyndall effect in the forest, dense forest. So through a canopy, a small ray of light enters into the dense forest. So there the scattering of light occurs through the dust particles. So this we call it as a Tyndall effect. So I hope children you understood about the properties of the colloidal solution and what are the colloidal solution. So next we'll study how to separate the different mixtures by making use of the various techniques.
Separating the components of a mixture. A mixture may contain various useful components. Hence, to extract these components, various methods of separation are being used. Generally, heterogeneous mixtures can be separated by the physical methods like hand picking, sieving, filtration that we use in our day to day life. Sometimes, special techniques have to be used for the separation of the components of a mixture. Evaporation. So, this method of evaporation is generally used to separate non-volatile component from volatile component, where volatile component easily evaporates, leaving behind non-volatile component in the mixture. Example: ink is made of dye and water. Dye, being non-volatile, gets separated from water during the process of evaporation. Next, we'll study about the centrifugation. Sometimes, in a solid liquid mixtures, solid particles are so small that they easily pass through filter paper, thereby makes their separation impossible. In such cases, techniques of centrifugation is used. In this method, a solid liquid mixture is allowed to spin in the container. During the spin, force acts in inward direction, in which heavy particles settle at the bottom while lighter particles remain at the top. Application of the centrifugations. There are various applications of centrifugations that you can see in the following ways. Next, separation by using separating funnel. So this technique is mainly used in case of mixture of immiscible liquids. This mixture is poured into separating funnel and allowed to stand still. Immiscible layer of liquids are visible, which can be easily separated by using the stop cork. The application of this is it is used to separate mixture of oil and water and iron from its ore. Next, we'll study about the sublimation. We have learnt in chapter 1 that this process is used to separate the mixture that changes directly from solid to gaseous state. That is, to separate the sublimable volatile impurity from a non-sublimable volatile impurity. Next, we'll study about chromatography. So, chromatography technique is used in this method of sample mixture is applied to filter paper and then filter paper is placed in solvent. Components in mixtures which are more soluble in solvent rises faster on filter paper, thereby separating all components from the sample. Distillation. So distillation, this process is used to separate two miscible liquids having sufficient difference in boiling point. In mixture, liquid with lower boiling point evaporates faster, undergoes condensation and collected in the container. But liquid with high boiling point evaporates later. Hence, it becomes easy to separate both the liquids. Next, we will study about the fractional distillation. In this method is used to separate miscible liquids having less than 25 Kelvin temperature difference in their boiling point. Apparatus is similar to simple distillation, only fractional column is added in between distillation flask and the condenser. Due to no difference in boiling point, both liquids evaporate simultaneously and face obstruction in the fractional column. Due to obstruction, liquids with high boiling point condenses down in the flask and liquid with low boiling point reaches the condenser and then collected in the container. Hence, liquids gets separated. So here we complete learning separation of components of mixtures by various techniques.
Children, you understood how to separate the components of the various mixture through different techniques like evaporation. Okay, so in the evaporation, this technique is used for separating two mixtures, that is the volatile and non-volatile component. Volatile means which can easily evaporate. So there we have taken the example of the ink. So there the dye is a non-volatile and water is a volatile. So water evaporates faster, leaving behind the dye. And we have studied about the sublimation. We have already studied this in the chapter first, where it is used to separate the mixtures which have directly changes from the solid to gas and from gas to solid. So that is the process of sublimation. And next we have studied about the other process called as centrifugation. So centrifugation is usually used in case of the mixtures where solid particles are very small in size, that cannot be separated through the filtration. So there we make use of the centrifugation. And we also studied about the chromatography. So chromatography technique is used for those components, coloring components, which is based on the different solubility with the solvent. So there we make use of the chromatography. And then we have studied about separation using distillation. So distillation process is used where there are two miscible liquids. Miscible liquids means which are homogeneous, which mix together in same proportion. So like those liquids, we call it as a miscible liquids. So we cannot separate those miscible liquids by filtration or any other method. So there this fractional distillation or simple distillation is used where these liquids are separated according to their boiling points. So depending upon their different boiling points, these liquids are separated. And we also studied about the separating funnel. So by making use of the separating funnel, we can make the liquid stand still and separate by getting different layers of the different liquids. And by making use of the stopcock, we can separate the two layers of the liquids. So all these are the different techniques that are used for separating the components of the mixtures. So I hope children you understood this session. In the next session we will continue with the same chapter. Thank you.